Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Shadow Priest has been reworked. Let's get hyped. Yes. Thank God, man. You may or may not know Shadow Priest is my main spec. I have played it off and on forever, probably like 3 years now. And it's either so good or so bad. You might say, Enrique, why are you playing so much Hunter? You play Hunter, right? You make all the Thug Cleave videos. Yeah, I do play a lot of Hunter, but Hunter is actually my alt. My main is the Shadow Priest. My main comp is the RPS, same as the move, Rogue Priest Shaman. I am so excited this class is being reworked. It looks so much more stable now, man. So thank goodness. Today we're going to be talking about the PvP talents. So we're going to get it started off right with the Thought Steal. I'm going to let you know how to use these talents, when to use these talents, their effects, their utility, etc, etc. Number 1, Thought Steal. 1.5 minute cooldown. Peer into the mind of the enemy, intending to steal a known spell. If stolen, the victim cannot cast that spell for 20 seconds. Can only be used on humanoids with mana. If you're unable to find the spell to steal, the cooldown of Thought Steal is reset. So I've talked about this in the Priest video. I talked about this in the Holy Priest video. Talked about this in the Disc Priest video. The ability is so cool, but only good against Warlocks and Mages. That would be a 20-second gap where they have no CC. But you only really want to take it against those, because on the other classes, or the other specs in the other classes, the ability is not that good, because you only still like heal over time effects and things like that. So to stay consistent, Thought Steal is going to still be in the A tier. A really cool ability when you need it, when you want it, but you probably won't take it all the time. One thing I should mention about Shadow Priest is that Shadow Priest has like really great PvP talents that provide so much utility to where you don't really switch out of them. So Shadow Priest is a little bit PvP talent locked. Definitely now with Conflict and Strife going away as an essence. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Next, Greater Fade. 45-second cooldown. Fade out, removing all threat, increasing your movement speed by 50% and causing most melee, ranged, and spells to miss you. Last 4 seconds or until you take a hostile action. Again, I've talked about this in the Holy Priest video. This thing is so good. 45-second cooldown immunity. This thing is basically like a bubble, man. It's so good. You can be interrupted, I will say that, but you can pre-fade stuns, pre-fade CCs, all kind of crazy stuff. It's so good. This combined with Shadow Word Death means you'll probably never be off CC'd in your life. It is a really good ability. Throw it up in the S tier. Throw it up. Throw it up. So good. Welcome to the club. Number 3, Void Shift, 5-minute cooldown. You and the current targeted party or raid members swap health percentages. Increases the lower health percentage of the two to 25% if below that amount. This ability is so valuable. It's insane. If you are going to play Arena as a Shadow Priest, you don't ever click off this ability. You take it every single time. It's so good. In BFA, you can get this ability through Conflict and Strife, so you automatically had it. Now, in Shadowlands, you don't have that privilege. So you're going to have to pick it up and fill up a slot. Never talent off of it. I mean, it's just so valuable, man. It's like a Lay on Hands or like a Vitality Conduit, but better. I mean, it just saves so many people so many times. Welcome to the club, Void Shift. You're in the S tier, VIP. Next, we got Cyphine, 45-second cooldown. Summons a Cyphine with 10 health for 12 seconds beside you to attack the target at range with Cyflay. Pretty sure that does Shadow Flame damage. Cyflay, shadow damage. Deals up to 1% of the target's total health and shadow damage every 1 second. Remember, for 12 seconds. Also slows their movement speed by 50% and reduces healing received by 50%. So this ability is okay. You don't really use it for the damage. You mainly just use it for the healing reduction. Mainly because Shadow Priest doesn't have a Mortal Strike effect. So I don't really use this in threes that often, just because I usually play with a rogue who has one. I don't really know when to take this, you know. It's good in twos. I will say that. I do take it in twos. Because in twos you either play, definitely if you play with a healer, so like Shadow Priest Druid or Shadow Priest Shaman, you want to take Siphene for the Mortal Strike effect. But in threes you won't really take it that often. So I'll probably give it a B. Just because it's a 12-second like Mortal Strike effect. Or like a really good Mortal Strike effect. So I mean, it's okay. It's only got 10 health, so it's kind of like a totem almost. But I don't know. It's okay. I'll give it a B. I don't want to give it lower than that. All right. C. Let me turn this song. I didn't like that song. C. So we got the Driven. Or next, we've got the Driven to Madness. While Void Form is not active, being attacked will reduce the cooldown of Void Eruption by 3 seconds. So this ability got a little bit of a rework, because before it used to reduce, or it used to gain insanity when you were attacked instead of reducing the cooldown of Void Eruption. But Void Eruption is now a cooldown itself. So this ability has been really good in the beta, and it's been really good in the pre-patch. Where should I put this ability? I think if you want to play a setup based comp, you want to take this. As much as you can, you want to take this. If you play with another caster, it's not that important. But if you play with RPS or Priest Hunter, Priest DK maybe, stuff of that nature, Priest Windwalker, you definitely want to take this if you can. But like I said, Priest or Shadow locked, or Priest are PvP talent locked. So I'll probably not take this. We'll see. I'll give a rundown on what you're probably going to take at the end of this video. Next, new ability here. Lasting Plague. Increases duration of Devouring Plague by 6 seconds. This ability is a go-to. You always want to take this if you can. The only time you don't want to take it is if a healer can dispel diseases. So that leaves you with 2 options. Pick this up if you're going against a Resto Druid, or if you're going against a Resto Shaman. They cannot dispel diseases, folks. So this thing will make your Devouring Plague pump. Make it pump. But if it can be dispelled, you don't get as much value out of it. So I'll still put it in the A tier, because it is really good. It actually does like 30% more damage if you take this. Next, Mind Trauma. Fully channeled Mind Flays causes you to steal 3% haste from the target for 20 seconds. Only 12% haste can be stolen from a single target, stacks up to 8 times. This ability is so cool. It's a weird ability. It's like in and out of the meta for some reason. Like sometimes everybody takes it, sometimes no one takes it. In twos, this is like super good. I mean, you can just suck the haste out of like both of them and like have so much haste in return. And it's like it like kind of teeter-totters that balance where it puts you in a nice advantage in the twos bracket. In threes, it can be okay. You don't really, well, you didn't before. You didn't channel Mind Flay fully a lot, but now you might, because Mind Flay actually does pretty decent damage, and the way your like rotation is now in PvP, you might actually get a lot more Mind Flays off. This ability is probably a B or an A. I'll give it a B just because you probably won't take it that often other than twos, but it's a pretty good ability. Next, Void Shield. When cast on yourself, 30% of the damage you deal refills your Power Word Shield. So it was only one time when this ability was the GOAT, and that was a strange little episode where it was better for a Shadow Priest not to go into Void Form, because Void Form would increase your damage taken. by 10%. So now it's like not good at all. When you didn't go into Void Form back in BFA, this ability was like so. It was basically all you took because you was just one big tank. Driven to Madness was different then too. So now you don't really take it ever. I don't really see this ever being good. So nice D tier ability here. Sorry about that. Next, Void Origins. Void Eruption is now instant cast. Simple as that. This ability, I mean, you basically see every Shadow Priest take this ability, but I can tell you that it's not because it's super effective, or it's not like so big of a damage increase or anything like that. People take this ability because they're used to playing with this ability because it was basically in the meta forever, and it's just a quality of life improvement. That's about it. Honestly, in Shadowlands, I don't know if I want to take this because Void Eruption cast is now a lot shorter. The cast time has been reduced, so you don't get as much value out of this anyway. And it's like other talents that you kind of want to pick up. But, I mean, it's still such a quality of life improvement, right? So, I mean, you can still put this in like the A, maybe the B. It's definitely not an S. Like, you don't get a lot of value out of it. So you got to be careful with that one, you know. So there you have it, folks. Shadow Priest, 2 S tier abilities, 3 A tier abilities. As a Shadow Priest, you're going to be super, super locked on your PvP talents, unfortunately. So you got 2 that you have to pick up always. Greater Fade, Void Shift. Never swap out of those. Don't ever swap out of those. The third one, you have a little bit of play. If you play against a Druid or a Resto Shaman, take Lasting Plague. If not, you can probably pick up Void Origins just for the quality of life improvement, or you can pick up Driven to Madness if you want to play in a setup based comp to give you burst more often. And that's about it. The other ones are kind of situational. Thought Steal is good, but it's also situational, so we'll see. Really looking forward to playing this spec. It is really solid. The rotation feels good. The utility is still there. The CC is still there. Plus the Covenant of Venthyr. It's going to be great, guys. I cannot wait to test this thing out on the rated ladder. So there you have it. That is the end of the Shadow Priest series. This one's probably going to go last out of the 3. I appreciate you tuning into this video. Please like, please subscribe. Please let me know if you like this style of video. If you want me to make different ones like PvP, how you use the talents in PvP, etc., etc. I'll see everyone in the next video. The next series will be on the Monk. Yes, I also play Monk. I play Windwalker above 2.1. I'm a duelist. And I also play Mistweaver around that same area in the duelist bracket. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I'll see you in the next one.